Welcome to another deep dive edition of the Chicks on the Right podcast. Today, we're going to focus our attention on basically what the entire world is focusing its attention on, unfortunately, right now, which is pride.
It's pride. Pride. Did you know that pride isn't pride like one of the deadly sins? Isn't pride that?
I believe it is.
Okay, I'm just putting that out there. But I just thought of that for a second. Anyway, so I used to love rainbows.
Yeah, man. Rainbows used to be just happy.
Yeah. And even my daughter is 13. She's like, I like rainbows too. It'd be cool to have rainbows on stuff without everybody thinking that you're gay.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but when you're 13, and you're not even to that stage yet, or you shouldn't be. I guess Democrats feel as though 5-year-olds should be at that stage where they're thinking about sexuality all the time. But, it's like that rainbow has been hijacked by this community. It's so stupid. Everything, if you see a rainbow, and then you go, we've seen like in Target, all these other places, like all these stores and the companies that are, during Pride Week that just virtue signal the crap out of this.
Oh my God. And it's so funny too when you see the companies like Mercedes-Benz and others, for example, who will change their profile photos on Twitter to be all rainbow and like happy pride, but in their Middle Eastern country sections, like on their, I don't know, Saudi Arabia in Mercedes-Benz in Saudi Arabia, they won't change it. And it doesn't occur to them that what would be a bigger symbol of pride and support of pride would be to refuse to do business in countries where they freaking murder gay people.
They like throw people off.
They throw
gay people off the tops of buildings.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just it's such utter just
bullshit.
Hypocritical bullcrap. Yes.
It is. It is hypocritical bullshit. It's like, I'm better than you because look at me. I put this Facebook rainbow, or like the circular rainbow around my face on Facebook. It's kind of like, when people did the whole BLM thing, or they do any other movement, I guess, from the left, which I don't even know. Like the gay thing has become a leftist thing too. There are gay conservatives,
who wish this wasn't a thing.
Right? They just want to be left alone. They just want to live their lives. They want to, and then you look at like some of the debauchery that you see in some of these pride marches, and you're like, I thought they just wanted to get married.
Right. Now they just want us to see and view and have our kids view their sexual shenanigans.
Yeah. It's very hypersexualized, and they want to involve kids. And so we had originally like pulled a bunch of clips that, you'd have to see what we'd have to, describe to you that there are kids at these like drag shows. Parents are the ones who are taking them there. It's not like kids are walking there by themselves, hitchhiking a ride and going, hey, I'd like to go to this like weird drag show that I don't even really understand because I'm 6, But this is the thing. They're showing up at all of these drag shows and like in libraries, and they call these things family friendly. And I don't see how any of this stuff I just don't see how sex is family friendly. I don't see how like you boinking somebody of the same sex, how that is something that would be considered family friendly. And then also, I don't really understand how it gives you a sense of pride.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, because that's one of the points that I made in a post I wrote yesterday at chicksontheright.com, because we had shared in our earlier this week, we shared in our live stream, our daily live stream, we had shared some videos of what's going on in schools for Pride Month in Canada. And then we showed a clip of one of those Pride parades where like this guy who's literally wearing nothing but leather thong.
A leather thong. Yeah, you see his ass cheeks hanging out.
Yeah,
right.
and he's getting spanked by some other dude, and this is supposed to be some family-friendly, kid-friendly parade. And so I had just had enough, and I wrote a post about it and was just absolutely losing my mind, especially because it is so targeted now towards kids. Like nobody has a problem with gay rainbows or whatever,
or with you spanking somebody on the back of a pickup truck. Just don't do it in front of my freaking kids.
Exactly. So it was hilarious because we get this email, and it's one of those emails from somebody who is too cowardly to attach their name to it, to actually stand behind what they say.
Happens
and
quite
so
a bit. Yeah.
And my initial thought, and it was a response to the post I wrote. So they like would take a sentence from what I wrote and then they would respond. And you're gonna love that. Like we're gonna go through this together, and I know you're gonna have a lot to say about this person's responses. No idea if this is a man or a woman, because again, too cowardly to attach their name. I had originally responded back and said, I read the first sentence of this, and then when I realized that you had no intention of even fighting like a man and showing who you are behind these words, you don't deserve anything more than that. You don't deserve a response.
Yeah.
And so, but then like curiosity got the best of me.
Of course, you have to read it. You have to read.
Right.
Like I got to read the crazy. It's like seeing a train wreck. You know, everybody just stops and gawks at a train. Yeah, you have to just see what the crazy is. Like,
and then I thought, well, if this is going to be our topic of our deep dive today, then we should just see what their argument is. Because I don't think I wrote anything particularly, earth-shattering in my post. I was stating the obvious. Things like, it should not be a source of pride who you, like, rub genitals with. Like,
exactly.
I have no pride about being a straight person, because that is freaking insane. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of stuff that I wrote.
And then to make, kids believe that is a source of pride. You should have pride in that, or pride for being transgender, or pride, like you get awarded and rewarded for these things. It's like, it's sex. Since when is it? We're talking about sex to these kids, and then, the hypersexualization of kids, and then rewarding them for that behavior, for that. It's like, what are we doing? Like, if you get down to the meat of it, no pun intended. If you get down to it, it's like that's what this is all about. It's all about, like you said, it's all about boinking somebody of your choice. And so I just like, when did we say it was? Listen, it's one thing if you want to have a pride parade, fine. I probably won't come to it because I think they're stupid. But but when you start indoctrinating kids with this garbage, it's insanity. And when we showed that video of the Canadian school, which this is happening all over Canada, and it's coming to an America near us, right? But they put all these pride flags up, and they've got drag performers, and they've got, the whole day centers around pride and what? Pride in exactly what we are saying, which is having sex with whomever you choose, or the person of the same sex or whatever. But it's all about sex. And these are young kids, and it's inappropriate no matter how you slice it. But man, liberals really want to push this.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be amazing if there was, like, I don't know, Pride in Math Day, or like
right?
Pride in Country?
It'd be great.
Pride in, something that's actually substantive and something to actually be proud about, whether it's an American history, whether it's a certain, I don't even know what, but having, like, choosing the person of the same sex to have sex with is not a source of pride. And you fight me on that. Like, nobody can explain to me why that's a source of pride.
it should not be a source of pride. It's stupid.
It's so stupid.
And Jessie Lawless, who is Jenna Jameson's wife now, they got married in Vegas a couple weeks ago, I think. Anyway, Jessie Lawless did a great video this week, basically talking about how your sexuality is not your personality, of course, and that was kind of the big point that I took away from her video. And I loved it. I think a lot of us loved it because we're like, yeah, that's exactly how we feel. And so if you disagree with this stuff, you're automatically labeled a transphobe, a bigot, a homophobe. It's like, we're not homophobes, we're not transphobes, whatever. You do you. Nobody gives a shit. It's just that we don't want it, being crammed down kids' throats. And then on top of that, look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself that question that, Jessie kind of posed to everybody this week, which is, why do you say that your sexuality is the same as your personality? Because I don't do that. You don't do that. Straight people don't do that.
So much a part of who they are.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you sleep with.
Yeah.
And now it gets all convoluted because now gays and lesbians their whole identity is being questioned by the trans community.
Yeah.
Because now a trans person says you can't be a lesbian who won't sleep with someone that has a penis, or like someone, you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. So they've got
lesbians
themselves
are
wrapped
like,
up in so many pretzels now.
And lesbians are like, but we like women. So how I don't want excuse my French, but we don't want a dick. We want
Right.
this. And so
That's
this is
what
what
makes us lesbians.
Exactly.
So
right. It is.
they're
So
such
it's
a mess.
It's interesting how they are becoming very. They're starting to become segmented. You know, like
Yeah.
the trans people are against these people, and then those people are then against those people, and it's like between that whole alphabet gang is just becoming very infighty. It's interesting how that's happening.
Because of all the pretzels they keep putting themselves into. Let's listen to the Jesse Lawless clip because in case people missed it in our earlier show earlier in the week, I suspect, before we play it, I'll just mention, I suspect that there are lots more Jessies than there are the radical,
Agreed.
but unfortunately much louder weirdos out there who are spanking each other in kids parades.
Right.
I want to believe that there are many more reasonable, gay, more conservative, normal people like Jesse than there are the radicals. Let's listen to Jesse.
Pride Month. Let's talk about it. I'm not a big fan. I don't know what the y'all are so oppressed about. I don't know what everybody's crying about. I don't know why everyone's so upset. I just don't feel oppressed. I don't remember the last time somebody had something bad to say about me because of my sexual preference, maybe because I don't talk about it. If you haven't noticed, I am a homosexual. I don't feel like I need any rainbow flag signs or signals to alert those around me that I am a homosexual. See, I don't make my sexuality part of my personality. As a matter of fact, I like to keep the two completely separate. There's a difference. I depend on my personality to get me places in life, and I don't need anybody to feel bad for me because I eat. I mean, for sake, White House with rainbow colors back when Obama was in office. What more do we need? We can get married. I mean, I see more rainbow flags available for purchase than the red, white, and blue ones that represent our country, but that's none of my business. I did sign up to die for this mother, so it might be my business. See, I'm 40 years old, baby. I actually got discriminated against when I came out of the closet back in 1997. Was that 98? I don't know. I'm old. I forget shit. Nobody baked me a cake. Nobody threw me a party, and nobody bought me anything with a rainbow on it when I came out of the closet. It was quite the opposite, actually. That shit built character and showed me who the real ones were. And it showed me who the fake ones were. Here's my opinion. You don't have to keep listening if you don't want to, but I think a lot of you guys are manifesting this shit. Wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I'm so gay. And everyone around me is going to hate my gayness. And somebody's going to be mean to me. And then somebody's mean to you. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so oppressed. See, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm just another regular human. And I didn't go do regular human shit. None of it involves rainbow flags. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is my pride flag's still red, white, and blue. You can unfollow me if you want to. I don't care. Mama didn't raise no bitch.
It's my favorite. It's just my favorite. Yeah.
So great.
So
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
It's the conflation between personality and sexuality. And she obviously relies on her personality. She's also probably close enough to like a Gen Xer. We had a whole podcast on that last week where I think just that our generation is just different when it comes to this stuff. It's like we obviously had gay people in our generation. Hello. There's, quite a few, but the ones that I've known and loved have been ones who are just regular everyday people who want to live their lives like regular everyday people. And just like Jesse says, they don't want to rely on their sexuality to be recognized or praised. It's not about their sex. It's about who they are as human beings.
And they don't want to hurl their genitals into kids' faces.
Right.
I will never understand the parents that are like, you know what would be great for our kids?
Yeah.
Let's take them to a drag show where we have genitals hurled in our faces.
Yeah.
Like,
that sounds
what
like
are they doing?
Sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Let's see two guys like whacking each other on the back of a pickup truck, half naked. It's like, how is that? It's not family friendly. It's not appropriate. It's just dumb. And people who are constantly fighting for kids to do this, like you have to wonder why? Why do you want this so bad? Why do you want your kids to be exposed to this so badly? Why?
They're total groomers.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation except for that. I don't know how a parent defends taking a toddler to a really sexually explicit drag show in any way except to say I'm a groomer. That's the only thing that they can say.
This is the thing. So you did that post about that had some of the videos on there, and this person was pissed off at you. Is that what happened?
Yeah. Well, so they wanted to respond to each of the points, and I thought it'd be interesting to go through what their responses are, because then we'll try to understand their argument. So one of the things that I said in my post was when I posted those video clips of just the spanking and like all the pride everywhere in the schools, I said, look at this. This is the absolute state of our education system. Look at this nonsense.
It's true.
And they said, you're right. Teachers being underpaid, class sizes way too big, underfunding for inner city schools, parents banning books, whitewashed history. There's a lot we should be focusing on in schools, dampening a fun party to celebrate the fact that an LGBTQIA kid is alive and going to school instead of ending their lives isn't nonsense.
Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, is that the whole, that's just one point?
Oh, that's just one point. Believe me, there's a lot
this
more.
person made. Wow, they brought in a whole bunch of baggage there to that point.
A lot of baggage. And they don't understand that there has been, if they look at traditional funding of public schools from like, say, 1970 to now, it is dramatically by humongous percentages increased. And the quality of the student education has
gone down.
massively decreased.
Absolutely.
So they can suck it with the funding.
Oh,
There's
the
no
funding,
reason for more funding.
The funding thing is ridiculous. Plus, we've even talked about this ad nauseum, where it's so many. They're paying administrators, they're paying DEI people, they're paying. They're not paying teachers because they're too busy blowing up, just like the government, just like the federal government is. They're hiring all these bureaucratic BS people to basically sit there and do nothing.
To plan pride parades.
Right.
And to decorate the schools. That's what they're doing instead of focusing on actual education.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, this person is saying or asking, like, what should they be? They shouldn't be focused on. Schools should be focused on pretty much one thing. The biggest focus of theirs should be educating our kids. Not about this shit, but actually educating our kids. You talk about how teaching has become, or just education in general has just gone down, and kids are not doing well anymore. Like, compare us to other countries around the world.
God, our kids know nothing.
They know,
so sad.
Yeah, jack squat. Like, we're so low when it comes to math and science and STEM stuff. I mean, we are struggling. And then these yahoos want to put more sex in the classroom. It's like, what? Maybe if you focus on what you were actually tasked to do, which is teaching kids legit subjects, they wouldn't be such dumbasses.
Right. So one of the other statements that I made was, imagine schools celebrating American patriotism as enthusiastically, or freedom, or even local, state, community pride. And their response was to say, you know what is probably certainly in every classroom? An American flag. You know what a lot of people aren't feeling that great about? How that flag only seems to be representing straight white Americans.
Oh my God.
What the hell kind of projection is that?
Yeah.
If you see an American flag and don't feel love of country, that's the only thing that flag is about, is a representation of love of country, patriotism, and freedom that we enjoy as Americans to do and love whoever we want. This is freaking crazy. They've demonized the American flag in favor of pride trans flags.
In favor of a sex flag.
Oh my God.
A sex flag. This is what they've done. So you can't have pride in your country without being a white dude? Because that's
just insane. That's the most inclusive flag there is.
It's
in
nonsense.
America.
It's nonsense. This person, I feel like this person is younger.
I'm sure they are, but they're way too cowardly to say who
they don't want to say who they are.
Unknown.
It's keyboard bravado is what it is.
633-638.
Is that what it is? Okay, because it's all keyboard bravado. This person, and it's a lot of talking points. A lot of the talking points that I assume this individual has probably heard, obviously through the media, but then also in school.
Right.
They're talking about this. Teachers are talking about this stuff too, like the American flag is racist. This is what our kids are learning. This is why there's such a low level of patriotism in our country. We've talked about that on our daily show as well, about how the level of patriotism and sense of pride of country, pride of country. It's like so low. These kids just hate their country. And it's like, why do they hate their country so bad?
That's what they're being taught.
And then they'll praise an LGBTQIA XYZ LMNOP flag.
Well, they went on to say, why should pride for your country or state be more than pride for your community, like the LGBTQIA community? Why is being an American the most important thing? I would rather be proud of all the other parts of what makes me first, because I'm a human first before I'm an American. And I would just say, being part of the American community is what unites us as Americans.
As
humans, yeah.
Right.
As humans that are living in America, that are citizens of this great country. LGBTQIA is very divisive and very exclusive. So why would you only celebrate a tiny segment of humanity and not all Americans. So
Mm-hmm.
don't tell me that you're excluding people with the American flag. Bullcrap.
You
You're
are.
excluding people with the pride flag.
Yeah, you're absolutely excluding people. And not only that, but I still go back to it's based on sex.
Well, and that's so funny that you say that, because they try to turn this argument about sex onto Republicans and conservatives because I said in my post, people's decisions about which set of genitalia they prefer playing with, that is all pride is about. Just like you said, it's all about sex.
That's what it is.
Their response was to say, here we get into the root of the problem. It's not about genitalia. Republicans are the ones who want to make it about genitalia. We say that a person can choose which pronoun to use because your pronouns shouldn't be tied to what is between your legs or what chromosomes you have. And then it says, sure, someone might have XX or XY, but where does it say in those XX or XYs that one is male and one is female?
Holy shit.
Humanity's need to label things is where it came from. Same with pronouns. They're accusing us of wanting to label?
Oh my God,
Are they
right?
freaking kidding me?
Yeah, not only that, but where does it say in XX and XY whether you're male or female? This is
Science.
what I was going to say. This is why we need more science taught in schools, apparently, because that is
Oh my
actually
God.
what does define you. That is actually what does separate men from women. That is biological. It is biological. All the stuff that we're hearing now from this community is based on feels.
Totally.
That doesn't make you right. I mean, listen, I'll listen to somebody that says, I don't identify as a woman. I'd rather be a man. Okay, that's fine.
That sucks for them.
It does suck for you. It does. It sucks for you that you feel like you're in the wrong body and you got to find the right one. That's on you, but that's not on me to live your delusion.
Right.
Because there is a difference between XX and XY chromosomes. That's biology. And this is the party that kept yammering on over the past 2 years about follow the science, follow the science. Okay, well, let's follow it. That's the science.
Right.
Apparently,
And it
kids
doesn't
aren't learning
matter-
that. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a woman who wants to be a man and you go through that gruesome surgery where you're either taking thigh skin or forearm skin to create a penis for yourself.
Disgusting.
You can go that far. You can take all the hormones you want. You will never be a man.
Right.
And so you can call yourself a man and you do you. You go and be like live as a man all you want, but you don't get to demand that other people participate in your circus.
Right.
We're just
This
not
is-
going to do it.
I know, this is the thing, and that's fine. But to find a sense of pride about that, and feel as though it's some sort of heroism that you're engaging in, it's not. It's kind of like it used to be that you were dealing with something that is in your head that was sort of dare I say, mental illness. Some of them have legit issues mentally. Some of these people do. And so work through it, by all means, work through it, do what you got to do. And if you do have to live your life as a different gender, then do that. But it's not on me to take on your problems. It's
Right.
just not. And it's not on my children to do that either. And to put that in our school systems is whack. It's completely whack. Again,
completely
it's
whack.
based on sex.
Yeah. The other thing I wrote in my post was, if you're gay, that's cool. You should go be as gay as you want to be. But if you're proud to be gay, that's freaking whack. There is nothing to be proud of. You prefer sleeping with the people of the same sex. This warrants no celebration, no
Right.
awards, no accolades. Sorry, but it doesn't. I'm not proud of being straight. I just am straight. If I were gay, I would just be gay. I wouldn't
Right.
expect people to devote an entire month to celebrating how gay I am. So they responded, let's start with, you should be proud to be who you are, a woman, a Republican, white, straight, all things you've claimed to be. They aren't whack to celebrate. They aren't whack to celebrate who they are. And not only that, celebrate the fact that they're alive despite others in this world who rather they not. Give me a fucking break.
Right.
Nobody here is wishing for the
Death.
LGBTQ community to die,
Right.
or to be suicidal or whatever. That's absolute
In
nonsense.
fact, it's quite the opposite in our country. It's exactly the opposite of that. Look at Dylan Mulvaney is a perfect example of that. Individual has been praised by every company known to man and has made gobs and gobs of money. So you can't tell me that this community, listen, I think gay and lesbians are probably like shoved aside now. If you're a transgender, oh my God, you're the darling of the media.
Right.
If you're like a two-spirit, non-binary, whatever, you're the darling of the media. It's like the freakier you get, the more accolades you're going to get in this country. So don't tell me you're oppressed, okay?
And it's why there's so much social contagion in kids about feeling out being non-binary or whatever. This is not natural. This does not happen in the natural world. It happens because they're conditioned by this community to do it. I mean, that's why you subsidize, you get more of it. That's the old standard rule. And this is a perfect example of that. This goes on and on and on. And I don't have like enough patience to get through more of that.
But there was more that the person just said more.
My God.
I mean, listen, I would imagine that this individual has been told his or her life that, or at least as long as they could understand it, that they are in fact brave for choosing to be the way that they are. And we were, listen, as Generation Xers, and I'm sure Jesse would agree with this too, that's not what bravery means to me. Bravery is not like going, oh, I'm going to pretend that I'm, a different gender, or it's not sleeping with a woman, it's just what you choose to do in your bedroom.
Right.
Like, that's just stuff that we've always said, that's your business. Do what you want to do on your time and don't concern me with it. But they want so badly to have this sense of pride, to have a sense of bravery and approval from other people. And they want the accolades for, boinking somebody of the same sex. It doesn't make you... Right. It doesn't make you a hero. And you shouldn't have a sense of pride about that. You just shouldn't. We go back to that because that's what this month, I can't believe they even get a week I could see, but they get an entire month. And then to think that they're oppressed somehow. And they've been led to believe that, oh my God, if we don't have this month, then we're somehow in danger. You're not in danger. This is America. You know where you would be in danger? Like, go to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
And try to do what you try to say these things to people in Saudi Arabia. In America, you have it really good because, my God, if this month, all you see is rainbows from companies. All you see is, wherever you look, is gay, LGBT, whatever, QIA, XYZ, all over. Companies, this is what they do. They virtue signal and they say they're there because it's like they want to make sure their social credit goes up. And this is what it's awful. As a gay person, if I were a gay person, I would be...
You'd feel pandered to because that's exactly what you are being. Like every gay person, all these companies, they're doing it for money and that is it. And I don't know how people don't feel grossed out by it, but they demand it. And then companies bow down and then they get the Bud Light treatment.
Right.
So
exactly.
Is it worth it? I don't know. One of the other things, I already closed that ridiculous diatribe of an email, but I do remember another point that this person made, which was that the Alphabet Brigade, and they took offense to me calling them that, but I don't care. The Alphabet Brigade deserves respect. And I was like, no, you don't. You don't. People deserve respect when they earn respect, when they do something that warrants respect. Just because you rub genitals with a person of the same sex, I'm
have to respect
required
that.
to respect you. You don't get my approval for that. Sorry, but you got to be actually a decent human and show me that you're a decent human in other tangible ways.
What else have you done? What else? Yeah. What else is on your list of personality traits besides you rubbing genitals with somebody else? What else have you done? Tell us something else interesting about you, because I'm not interested in that. That's not interesting to me. It's not interesting to most people. In fact, everybody's kind of sick of it. It's like, it's just whatever. Anybody can say, oh, I'm gay, or I'm trans, or I'm two-spirit, or I'm whatever. It's like, okay, that's great. What else about you makes you interesting?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk. Because
Tell me about some of your actual character.
Right.
I want to know about your character, not your sex life.
Yeah.
I can't believe that even needs to be said out loud.
Isn't it ridiculous that we have to? Yeah. But listen, I know you're getting this podcast, almost mid-month. You have to endure another half a month of Pride stuff.
Yeah.
And
exhausting.
congratulations, America. And this is the thing. If you look at Canada and what they're doing in their schools, that's coming to us. So people need to understand that it's good to speak out and ask the question, what is there more to you, like that you're proud of? Because this is not a sense of pride.
It's really not. We do have. I am proud of some of the reviews that we got
Yeah?
on
Well,
our
good.
Apple Podcast
Yay.
platform. There's one. I love it. It's from someone who's just like a bunch of letters. It's not an actual name, and it just says above average in the subject line.
Okay.
And then
All
it
right.
says cursory exploration of hot political and social topics. Both hosts very intelligent and lovable.
Well, that's very sweet.
I thought that was nice.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Lovable and intelligent. That's how,
Right?
yeah.
Someone said, best show ever. So glad I found this podcast. It's incredibly refreshing to hear fellow conservative women discussing the topics of the day and doing it with some laughs along the way. Thanks so much and keep up the good work.
I love it.
And then from Candy Crash Not Cool, best podcast ever, subject line. Hey chicks, love the Gen X second best generation show. I was born in 1963, so I'm a boomer, but what you two described on the show was my childhood also. Great times, and thank goodness there was no internet then. I'm an indie and I miss you two on the radio. See how old school I am? I love this podcast. Also love that I can watch on video. Keep being awesome.
I love it. That's so sweet.
nice.
We appreciate
So
those
nice.
so much. And you guys make sure that you are subscribed and that you're following all the things, chicksontheright.com, and then chicksontheright.com/links is where you can go to get all of our social media stuff because we're very active on social media. Until next week, you guys have a good one.